Hey guys, back with another video. I've got the radio blaring. I need to turn it down so that way I don't get no copyright. Now, anywho, I'd made a video on this thing before, but I just didn't feel like the batteries was charged enough to make the video proper. Check this out. This is, I think it's like a 5-horse DC motor, 36 volt, made around 1950, 1960s, or late 1950s to early 1960s. And I figured, well, why don't I make a video on it? Now, I think I've had this in my old channel, on a video of my old channel. The motor started acting weird and backfiring and knocking, doing all sorts of weird stuff, so I decided, well, why don't I start with something else? I took the motor off the frame, and I'm like, I want to make a racing mower out of this. I want to do this, I want to do that, and never got around to it because I never could get the parts. Well, recently, I made a deal with a guy. I'm going to do some sandblasting for him. This actually came off of a golf cart he wants me to sandblast. Large thing. Right here, these two top lugs on this side and this side. Those are both for the DC brushes, because it's a universal motor. It's self-commutating. Switches its own power on and off. And then this post, yes, this lower post right here my finger's on, that's windings, that's windings. This is ground. This is positive, this is at a positive potential, and that's at a positive potential. So, I'm going to start it up. This clip, I hook onto this brush, and you can hear it whirling away. Now check this out. Since it's got its own transmission in it, I don't have to reverse the motor's polarity to get it to move, as every other mower is. I'm not doing anything. Oh God. Oh God. Now, I've got a little bit of switching to do. I got to make the proper connections on the batteries. I got to put a contactor in to switch power on and off. That red thing in the bottom right there, I think you can see it. It's a switch that's hooked up to the brake. So when I click this brake down, it turns that contactor right there off, which turns the motor off. And when I let off that, it turns the motor and everything else back on. And that switch, it was a different switch in there that was normally open. When you press the brake down, it allows you to start it. So I replaced it with a normally closed position switch, which in turn, whenever I let off the brake, turns on the solenoid or contactor and turns on the motor. But I don't have all the parts to do that. That contactor's faulty. But I figured I would make a video on this. Now, I swear to you, there is no ropes, no chains. It's moving under its own wheel. Using I think it's a 5 horsepower DC motor. 36 volt, 40 amp. Built around the 1950s, 1960s for a golf cart. And it just so happens to work very well for what I want it to do. But I've got to get up enough batteries. I've got two 12 volts in series, which equals 24 volts at about the same current as one car battery. I've got a battery here on the charger, and I've got a battery here on the charger. So I've got two different batteries charging, so that way I can add them into this. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep the system 24 volts. So these two in series equals one battery. One 24 volt battery at like 600 cranking amps. Cold cranking amps, excuse me. And then I'm going to have another set done the same exact way, hooked in parallel with these, which will equal a 24 volt system at around, when it's all said and done, these are all old batteries, so it'll probably be a total of about 700, 800 amps. Due to the fact that they're all old batteries and I'm hooking them together. But as it is right now, this is what it is. It's a General Electric DC motor. And just Sounds like a forklift almost. That's just the sound of the transaxle, the squeaking, grunting noise. Just to take off some of the load I'm going to get off of it. But it runs pretty good considering it was thrown together within 4 hours. Yes, 4 hours. Okay, too much. Well, this is my electric lawnmower. This is John the Electro Man. Talk to y'all later.